Hey y'all, Mr. Tim's here. This video is on the Heat and Glow fireplace. This is the LP fireplace. The model number on this is 6000 TR LP-Oak. And recently we did some remodels and additions to our home. So we've had this recently moved, and this surround put around it here. The man-made stone put around it, and a raised hearth. So one thing I wanted to show you about this video is how my fireplace ignites. I've had a professional come out from a gas company, and he came and looked at it for me, and it's a startling way that it ignites. So what I've got up here is this is an overhead light here. This is my fan blower on the unit, and then this is actually the ignition here. When I flip this switch, it does automatic ignite, and I'm going to show you how it looks. It kind of has a kind of a boom here. Let's see. I'll count on the seconds. I'm going to flip the switch now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, did you hear that? That was kind of a woo, and these things kind of rattled here. That's kind of how it feels. That's kind of how it ignites every time. In some cases it was getting worse because the gas chamber in this system has to fill up so much before it hits the pilot. And I'm going to turn this off over here, and you'll see the flame glows right out here. Here's my blower. And on this system, what it does is the blower is sitting down here, and it blows out. It comes up around the back of the box, which heats up. The flame heats up the box, and that keeps it the air kind of circulating out, which makes it more efficient. Here, so it's a little dusty under here from the move. Let me reach up there and turn off the fan so we can hear it. Okay, so under here, this is the controller coming off the wall switch there. That's the fan that's plugged in here. That's the controller for the fan. I can have it on different speeds in case you didn't want to have it that loud. If you see back there, I'll point to it. That back there, that silver box in here, that's the actual fan. I had to buy that from aftermarket. That's not the actual fan that goes with the Heat and Glow. You can see here, it's LP. Propane, propane, propane. It's not natural gas, which is very, very specific. You got to have either a natural gas or a propane gas tank. Gas supply for different kinds of fireplaces. So make sure you get the right fireplace for the right fuel that you want to use. So this is the only way that I can adjust the actual setting of how big the flame is when it comes on. And we just use this as a kind of, not a primary heat source, but just kind of a nice thing to warm up on a cold day, or when we have guests over, or just a kind of a decorative type thing. It has some adjustments down here on the pilot and things like that, but we don't mess with that. Here's an auto switch if I wanted to cut it on and off without the switch. And then, of course, this is my igniter button for lighting the pilot. And here is the on pilot switch, which if I wanted to light the pilot, I would press the pilot in, let the air kind of leak out, and then until it gets the gas, and then hit the igniter here like that. It's not going to do anything if I do it now because the pilot's already lit, but that's where I would light my pilot. Gas shut off. I always shut it off at the end of the season when I'm not using it, just so I know that gas is not leaking into the house. And then if you look back here, it's hard because of the glare. I can see a blue flame back there, and I can kind of visually look back there to see if my pilot's lit. So let me see if I can get this off, and I'll show you more inside. This cover up, I can't do it with one hand in video. You got to lift straight up, and this is gonna come up here, and then I'll be able to pull it off. I'm gonna do that now. I've got it off now. It's actually just the screen that comes off, the flap on the bottom for the vents, and you can see that these hooks here, they'll hook into these slots that are over here on the box itself. Now we can get in there, we can see there's still a lot of glare, and it's actually pretty dirty. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it while I've got it off showing y'all. The glass, what you're gonna do is there's 4 points where you take these, I got my fingers in there, these are spring loaded, and I'm gonna undo them like that. Same thing over here. Now, 2 on the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down so I don't drop this tempered glass. All right, glass is off. You can see it's really dirty. It's got a lot of soot on it. I had recently come in here, and the gas guy and I kind of cleaned all this, and so I think a lot of soot from just it being moved from the construction and things like that has really sooted up this. You can see I'm going to clean all that up. That's going to give me a much better look. And some of these little embers have kind of fallen over. I'm going to take these. One of the things that this does is these fireplaces have these little embers that actually glow when the flame hits them, and that's what these are. These are little glow embers that make it look more realistic and give it a little ambiance. So I think the oak on the end of my here stands for what kind of logs I guess are in there, and these are very specific patterns. If you go to start moving these things, you need to know right where they are and right where they come from. I would take a picture. You can see this one has a slot in it, and then it specifically lays like right there. So really, if you start moving these things around, you need to be careful because the manufacturer put them there for a reason. If you have them in different places, the flame could hit them incorrectly and then cause a lot of soot and a lot of different reactions that can, I guess, lead to maybe stuff like this right here, the dirt and the soot on my fireplace. So I can see right there I've got a little soot coming up there. That's exactly what I was talking about. So maybe I need to push that one back, adjust that one where the flame's not hitting it. Or is this one of the little, I think one of the little embers there, you can see here, was kind of stuck in it. I think that was sooting things up. And that might have been the whole reason why my glass was sooting up. So you can see it all over my fingers here. Back there's a little bit clearer look at the pilot. The pilot, let's see if I can get a better look here. All right, so the pilot comes out and it splits it 3 ways. And the left side is going over there. It's hitting a little small thing called a thermocoupling. On the right side, there's a little bit bigger piece. You can see it hitting. That's called thermopile. That helps open the gas valve. And then the one coming towards us, that's going to be the one that ignites the gas when it comes out here. And you can see here's some holes that the gas will come out of. Let's see if I can find any more. Can't find any more right off. There's some more over there clearly. That all comes out, and that's how it you know, just creates the fire look all throughout the log there. So you can see the pieces I've got spread out here. There's that. I'm gonna clean this all up and put it back together. All right, I've cleaned up the inside with some Windex, and then I'm just getting these final pieces here back on. That one's there, that one's there. It does matter where this goes. It needs to line up right there so that seal, that fire seal, is on the other side, is going to seal that up correctly, because these are vented logs. You can see, I can see almost outside my house right there. If I look real closely, these are vented logs, okay? So it does matter to have that box sealed. Got to seal it properly. I'm going to go ahead and clean this outside glass. All right, that's what I got off the inside there, all that soot. That's what I got off from the outside. I've got rid of that soot problem. My glass looks a little bit cleaner, looks a little bit better. I can see my reflection really well. And I'm going to try to get up a little bit of this dust down here while I'm in there. Then I'm going to put the outer screen on. All right, so I got the outer screen. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to try to do it with one hand and show you. Got it in place. Down there, push it right there. That's in place. This side. It's going to go. Let's see here. Got to lift it up. Push it in. Yep. Now push it down. All right, it's locked down now. I apologize for that videography there, folks. It's hard to do things one hand and show. But now you can see that this is all the way down here like that, and then our little flap's gonna... So I'm gonna wipe down the outside of it, and we'll crank it back up there for you. All right, so I got everything cleaned up. I'm gonna give you one more example of how long it's taken to light. It can be kind of a little bit of an explosion, which I don't like sometimes. If it gets more than what I'm showing you here, you probably need to get it serviced. Have that clean. I'm gonna flip here. Look at my hands. I'm gonna flip here. Well, I'll count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna cut it off. Oh, did you see that? That's exactly what I'm talking about there. A little bit of explosion sometimes. So one thing I've done, when it starts to do that on me, I'm gonna go check and make sure my pilot's still lit back there. It is still lit. And what I do is I'll prime it. I'll fill it with gas for about 4 seconds, and then I'll cut it off, and then I'll cut it back on. And what it'll do is light a little bit easier. This is the way I've come to deal with it, because it scares the junk out of me. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut it off. Now I'm gonna cut it back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was a mighty big explosion. Just don't love it. Just don't love it. But that's how it's doing. Let me check that back there. Everything seems to be in its place. Now, once you've lit it really good and it gets hot and there's gas in that whole system, and this whole tray down here fills with gas, it will light better. I'll cut it off. Cut it back on. 1. See how fast that was? There's gas already in it. So I'm gonna cut it off here, folks. That's one thing I've been doing. I've been going over here, flipping this switch. 1, 2, 3, and it came on that time. But be careful with it. If it starts to get those little gets really bad where it's taking a long time to light and it's got an explosion, I've had it even take so long that when it does ignite, it's so much of an explosion in that box, which is not right, that it blows itself out. That is not right. If it is blowing itself out, folks, that is, you need to have a service professional come out and take a look at this. But a little bit of a delay with it, I would say 4 or 5 seconds is what I've been experiencing. If you've had any difference or got any other ideas, or want to share anything about these heat and glow fireplaces, please give me some feedback, and we'll start a conversation about it. We'll talk about it. Thanks, guys, and thanks for watching. See y'all later.